All right, let's dive in. Today, we're unpacking a story where tech, money, and global power are all tangled up together. It's a story about a single engine that's pretty much driving the entire world economy right now. Let's get right into it. So, you look at the markets, right, and you see a whole lot of green. It all looks pretty good. But what if I told you that behind this big rally, there's one single company whose performance is so massive, it's practically the whole story? So, who are we talking about? Okay, so first, let's set the scene. It was a really positive day for the markets, and you know what? All that energy was coming from basically one place, the tech sector. I mean, the numbers really speak for themselves here. You've got the S&P 500 up over 0.8%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq, it jumped a really strong 1.26%. Look, this wasn't just some tiny little bump. This was a powerful, tech-driven day that lifted everybody's spirits. Now, who was doing all the heavy lifting? Well, it was the usual suspects. Those heavy hitters in tech, the ones people call the Magnificent Seven. You had companies like Microsoft and Meta posting some really impressive gains. But even in that exclusive club, one company's news just completely stole the show. And that brings us to the absolute star of our story, NVIDIA. Seriously, if you want to understand what moved the markets, you have to understand the incredible boom happening inside this one company. And it's all because of artificial intelligence. This headline pretty much says it all, doesn't it? NVIDIA didn't just meet expectations, they absolutely shattered them. Their earnings report sent a shockwave through the market, basically confirming that this whole AI boom isn't just real, it's speeding up like crazy. So let's look at the raw numbers. For its fiscal fourth quarter, NVIDIA brought in a staggering $68.13 billion in revenue. That's way more than the $66 billion analysts were hoping for. It's just a massive number that shows you how insane the demand is for their tech. So where's all this growth coming from? This 75% jump is just from their data center business, and that's the part of the company making these super high-powered chips that are literally the engine for the entire AI revolution. And this number, this one is just wild. It really drives home how central AI is to who NVIDIA is now. An incredible 91% of the company's total sales are coming from that data center unit. They're not just in the AI business anymore. For all intents and purposes, they are the AI business. So here's the bottom line, the really crucial point. NVIDIA has totally transformed. It's not just another company making computer parts. It has become the essential, must-have hardware provider for one of the biggest tech shifts of our lifetime. Its success is now directly tied to the global race for AI supremacy. But, when a company gets this big and this important, it stops being just a business story. NVIDIA's dominance has put it smack in the middle of a high-stakes global game, especially between the United States and China. You really can't separate these two images. On one side, you've got NVIDIA's mind-blowing earnings. On the other, you've got headlines about trade tensions. They're two sides of the exact same coin, because the tech NVIDIA makes is now seen as a critical national asset, a piece of national power. And here you can see the strategic chess match playing out right in front of us. The U.S. Commerce Department is actively trying to stop China from getting its hands on the most advanced AI chips. But what's China's response? They're not just sitting back. They're aiming for a massive five-fold increase in their own domestic chip production. They want to be self-reliant. At the absolute heart of this whole conflict is technology like the NVIDIA H200 chip. It's one of the crown jewels of AI hardware. You need this stuff to build the next generation of AI. So controlling this hardware kind of means controlling the future. And that's exactly why it's such a huge flashpoint. And those restrictions? Well, for now, they seem to be working. The U.S. government has confirmed that so far, none of these top-of-the-line chips have made their way to China. This just shows you how serious the U.S. is about keeping that technological lead. Okay, so this AI race is clearly a massive, world-changing story. But is it the only thing moving the global economy? To get the whole picture, it's worth taking a quick look at what's happening beyond the big tech headlines. So let's zoom out for just a second. Let's take a quick peek beyond the world of AI chips and see what other parts of the global economy are making moves. And you know what? There is a ton of other activity in some really key areas. If you look at a major economy like India, for instance, you're seeing big deals getting made in really fundamental sectors. We're talking infrastructure, renewable energy, and pharmaceuticals. It just goes to show you, major investment is still happening across the board. So the key takeaway here is this. While the whole AI story, driven by companies like NVIDIA, is totally deserving of all the attention it's getting, you can't forget about the bedrock of our economy. Things like energy, infrastructure, and healthcare, they're still there. They're still growing and innovating, and they provide the stability that actually fuels the tech revolution in the first place. But we have to end where we began, with AI. Its arrival isn't up for debate. It's here. But as this whole story with NVIDIA shows, the battle over who will design, build, and ultimately control the infrastructure of that AI future, well, that's just getting started. It's a question that's going to define the next decade, for markets and for nations.